can I show you a little bit of the sideline right wing fuckery that's going on? The other place where they're eating themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, Candace Owens. That's right, where she's going to talk to you like this and nod her head a bunch and look up a bunch because duh. And apparently she demanded TPUSA give her some like admit that these texts about Jewish donors about Israel were real, and they are, and so that of course means that Jewish people hired Tyler Robinson lookalikes to kill him or some shit.
Certainly getting a little more interesting, maybe a bit darker than we had anticipated.
How? What the fuck? A bit darker than you had anticipated? You think the entire federal government under Donald Trump is aligning with Netanyahu and the Mossad to assassinate Charlie Kirk and cover it up? I'm not even sure if she doesn't think that they implanted an explosive in him and he wasn't shot at all. He was squibbed from inside. Or like last time we saw her, she thought a valve opened up underneath him and shot, I guess, water or a blood-colored liquid or air up into his asshole, and it came out his neck. I'm not kidding. Go see the video about Big Valve.
Because just 16 hours before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, he mysteriously retweeted a 2013 tweet from Donald Trump calling for public executions. Now, I have tried, and I don't feel that there is any way that I can confidently explain to you guys why he tweeted that, least of all in the context of him having already admitted that he and a rabbi in Israel had a long talk with Charlie the night before he died, something he was very proud of. Also, Dinesh...
Sorry. So Charlie Kirk posts a thing about we need to bring back public executions, and you can't figure out why he would, considering Trump and a donor had a talk with him the night before he was killed. Maybe that's just something he believed, and you've got to come to terms with the fact the guy that you're deifying and thinking was a martyr to the cause against burning down Israel is because of he didn't post that? Or
D'Souza has jumped into the mix. Welcome, Dinesh D'Souza. He is joining every commentator who hates Candace Owens. That's nice that he has entered the foray.
Look, I don't hate you, but he is not coming on my show.
He's got some things to say to me. We're going to discuss it because it's weird. And I'm also going to explain to you why, more formally at least, why I decided to activate an effective kill switch. And I want you guys to pay attention because this is really important.
And a kill switch? Sorry, you have some sort of like info dump that you're holding back because in case they kill you?
Welcome back to Candace.
I feel welcome back. I mean, that's nothing says welcome back like kill switch.
Hoisted by his own petard. That's an expression, obviously, that we use a lot. And
yeah, we do. I can't stop using it myself.
I have this thing where I always have to go back and research and figure out why we use common expressions.
God damn. All right. You got to keep going, Hal. You got to keep, like, it's not going to get better. The video is just going to keep.
Because nobody actually thinks about those things anymore.
Yeah, nobody does.
Well, this...
Because it's just so lit, you know.
One is pretty obvious. It refers to when soldiers would use a petard, essentially
Of course. Yeah.
bucket-shaped explosive device packed with gunpowder, effectively a bomb, to blow up the gates and wall fortifications of their...
She's not reading this off a monitor in front of her at all.
...enemies. They'd light the fuse, and sometimes they would be hoisted by their own bombs. And that's exactly what is happening right now to Josh Hammer for weeks.
This is, by the way, this is, I think I showed a clip of them flipping out about this dude a couple days ago.
After the assassination of Charlie Kirk, Josh Hammer obsessively and shamelessly accused people of lying, people of grifting, people of attempting to destroy Charlie Kirk's legacy. Charlie Kirk was his friend, he claimed rather maniacally.
I have to say, I'm kind of enjoying the Real Housewives of Assassination angle that this is taking. If it wasn't based on something so horrific and terrible, it'd be pretty fucking hilarious.
That Charlie never once flinched on the topic of Israel. He died just loving Israel. It was like, are you kidding me? That's all he cared about. Check out just some of these tweets, by the way. This is a collage. We just don't have all day here to gather crazy Josh Hammer tweets.
It seems like you do, though.
But you get the idea. There is a repulsive
No, I kind of don't. I mean, it's small on my screen. I can't imagine somebody looking at this on their fucking phone.
Right now to hijack Charlie Kirk's legacy. There is a repulsive op right now desecrating Charlie's memory by trying to posthumously convert him to Groyperism. Can't believe there's something known as Groyperism. I was given access to this.
You can't believe there's something known as Groyperism? You had Nick Fuentes on your fucking podcast, lady.
Letter a few months ago, and I read it at that time. Tucker, Candace, and other bad faith actors are lying through their teeth about Charlie and Israel. Candace Owens and other grifters, you get that back up for a quick second. Candace Owens and other grifters are trying to posthumously rewrite and hijack.
Posthumously. It's not posthumously. There's not a humously and then a posthumously. It's posthumously.
Legacy of the great Charlie Kirk to further their patently evil ends. There has been.
All right. Well, all right. Look, I don't want to agree with this guy on a lot of things because he's an asshole, but, I mean, I think your podcast as an evil end kind of works, I guess.
A repulsive op. The reality is simple. Charlie was a bridge. Like, it's weird that he keeps repeating that sentence. Like I said, maniacal, obsessed, and
or responding to shit that he sees, and using the limited phraseology that he has, or the limited sort of culturally relevant phrases that he knows. So he just kind of is a repetitive dick. But he's, these are. You know what? I take it back. Maybe all these tweets, and I don't give a fuck, and I don't need to defend this asshole. But maybe just organically out of nowhere just vomits these things out. None of them are retweets or answers to or responses to anything.
And of course, in the
especially not your show, I guess.
Comfort of his own derangement, and with the full support of the press and the silence of Charlie's other.
The full support of the oh, that's right, because Maddow is totally going to have him on Monday.
"Quote unquote" friends. Josh was really acting the part of a true Pharisee. He was certain that the truth would not rise again. He was so confident that he had killed it, and that he could himself hijack the legacy of Charlie Kirk. Except the truth did kind of rise again. It kind of always does rise again.
Yeah, it usually takes it 3 days or whatever, and most people don't believe it.
And the world now knows that Josh Hammer had personal, intimate knowledge that Charlie's views were changing. He lied about the Hamptons meeting. I've told you the truth from day one. Seth Dillon and Josh were personally upset with Charlie's defiance against the state of Israel. Seth Dillon was the more vocal of the two parties in the Hamptons, as I said, in terms of actually pressing Charlie.
By the way, this was about a meeting in the Hamptons with donors and other people where allegedly some Israel sympathetic rich donors were going to not give money anymore, or confronted him about his wavering on it, or having her or Tucker on to criticize it instead of having this whatever. And the point being is it was in the fucking Hamptons.
Both of them were upset about the way that they saw his viewpoints shifting, and Tucker was therefore correct at Charlie Kirk's memorial. It was definitely the correct analogy when he spoke about these sorts of individuals who plot and lie and think that they are going to be successful in, murdering the truth in the story of Jesus Christ. Take a listen.
Sorry. Oh, I see. Sorry. Because this all boils down to the Jews don't believe Jesus was the Messiah, and that's what this is all about. So it wasn't just that it's the current political nature of post-October 7th, that there's a war and lines are more clearly drawn. It's that Jews just won't admit Jesus is their Lord and personal Savior, and this is all about the end times that are going to be here. Whew, what time is it?
Charlie would have loved this, not just because He loved large groups of people, but because
Did your wife know?
ultimately he was a Christian evangelist. And it actually reminds me of my favorite story ever.
Oh, dear.
So it's about 2,000 years ago in Jerusalem, and Jesus shows up and he starts talking about the people in power.
And the Lord spoke unto them and said,
I like wood.
Peter said,
Deeper and longer.
I'm sorry.
And he starts doing the worst thing that you can do, which is telling the truth about people, and they hate it. And they just go bonkers. They hate it. And
Yeah, I remember. And lo, they did stare upon him, the Pharisees, and bonkers they went.
they become obsessed with making him stop.
Are thee thou bonkers or not?
This guy's got to stop talking.
Yeah, he's got to stop talking. He's making me bonkers.
Got to shut this guy up. And I can just sort of picture the scene in a lamplit room with a bunch of guys sitting around eating hummus, thinking about what do we do about
Whoa. Eating hummus, thinking about what do we do? Yeah, Jesus would never eat hummus. Nah. It was he got the fattiest part of the pork because they would leave the beef because they would leave it up or the lamb even. They would leave it up on the altar and then go, "Don't look. After you leave the fatty parts on the altar, there's going to be a fire. Don't look back. Go down the hill and leave the fatty chunks. And don't forget the potato chips."
this guy telling the truth about us? We must make him stop talking. And there's always one guy with the bright idea, and I could just hear him say, I've got an idea. Why don't we just kill him?
Jesus Christ. No pun intended. I've got a bright idea. Let's just kill him. Sorry. So it wasn't a trans-associated lefty. It was a circle of rabbis. Is that the idea?
That'll shut him up.
And Romans.
That'll fix the problem.
This is at a fucking memorial.
It doesn't work that way.
Well, it does when you're a human being. It might not work if you are an extratemporal deity who's the son of God and can rise from the dead. It does, though, when you're a person. Even if they name a fucking street after you. The irony is that assholes like Tucker Carlson are like wrecking any potential legacy that Charlie Kirk would have as a true evangelical Christian by their own behavior and their interpretation of Jesus's works on the planet.
It doesn't work that way. Everything is inverted, and the Beatitudes tell it, I think, the most crisply. Everything is sort of the opposite of what you think it's going to be.
That is a fact. It will always be the opposite of what you think it's going to be when you are attacking people who are telling the truth. And the truth is that it is now an established fact, like I said, that Josh Hammer knew that Charlie Kirk's perspectives on Israel were changing. And since that announcement, Twitter users pointed out a very strange tweet that Josh Hammer hit send on 16 hours before Charlie Kirk was assassdated. For
my keyboard
no
not
apparent
working,
reason
so I
at all,
can't pause
he
this
retweeted
fucking
something
thing. What happened?
that President Donald Trump had sent a full 12 years ago about public executions. Here it is. Here it is that retweet.
Stop. There we go. Good God. What did all my peripherals just decide to fart out at the same time? So that I guess you can't murder the truth even with a pause button. I one day I'll learn my lesson.
Trump wrote on April 19th, 2013, should be public execution for all to see. You will end this bull fast. And Josh Hammer just replies and says, based. You can see we are in Central Time, so that's about 9:05 p.m. Eastern.
Nothing says based like extrajudicial public executions.
Time. Now, what is the justification for this? There might be one. I tried in earnest to at first rationalize it, right? What could have been going on that Josh Hammer decided to dig through the 2013 Twitter archives and retweet someone calling for a public execution?
Oh, yeah. He was letting everybody know it was going to happen.
Well, I'll let one of the many Zionist PR agents explain it first. Yashar Ali, who, like I said, is quite literally paid to do PR for Zionists. I know this personally on the right and
Yeah, he does it. The right and left Zionists pay this guy to say, okay,
on the left, tried to explain it away by kind of lying, I would say. He tried to claim definitively that
kind of
Josh
lying?
was referring to the criminal who
right,
horrifically murdered
why
the
is this
Ukrainian
not pausing? Stop it, you weirdo. That's so odd. There's like a delay in my keyboard. Obviously, the Zionists will make it happen.
Irina Zarutska in North Carolina. That was obviously a big story in the beginning of September. Yashar Ali wrote this. Last night, Candace Owens, quote, tweeted notorious neo-Nazi Sam Parker, who pointed out that Josh Hammer, who is Jewish and was a friend of Charlie Kirk's, elevated a Trump tweet from 2013 the day before, which called for public executions.
Yeah, she did.
Candace, of course, would like people to believe that Josh's quote tweet is suspicious in the context of the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Also true, I guess.
But Josh was just sharing what many conservatives were sharing and stating the day before. That's because they were talking about the horrific murder of Irina Zarutska. This is where I say that no civilized nation uses the death penalty, in parentheses, referring to his own thoughts. Now,
like, he can be against it, but civilized nations do it all the time. It's just wrong. It doesn't mean the country isn't civilized. Yeah. And again, I've said this several times. Oh, I see. That's why it did it, because the stream, they pulled the stream. Stream ended. That's why it was being weird. Son of a bitch. Didn't Josh Hammer write the soundtrack to Miami Vice? No, that's Jan Hammer, but nice try.